Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you all about the brand new collection from Dawson and Jeffree Star Cosmetics. If that's something you are interested in hearing about, then definitely keep on watching and also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. November 1st, folks, was pandemonium. I don't think I've ever seen people freak out as much as they did on that day because I think everybody and their grandmother was trying to get their hands on a part or the entire Jeffree Star and Dawson collection. I am gonna be 100% honest with you. I am a big Dawson fan. I am also a fan of the Jeffree Star Cosmetics brand, especially his eyeshadow formula. I think it is really, really great to work with. But this whole collection, I thought it was cute, but it didn't scream buy me, at least to me. I think the packaging of the entire collection is really beautiful and it is definitely on brand with who Dawson is. I think he did choose colors that are going to suit a variety of different skin tones, but also a variety of different styles. You do have lots of neutral colors, but then you also have these really cool pops of colors. And I know with this particular collection, you had a bunch of accessories to choose from as well. There were mirrors, makeup bags, I believe there was a tracksuit, and of course you had the eyeshadow palettes in addition to the liquid lipsticks. I knew the collection was launching at 1 p.m. my time on November the 1st, and so I definitely made an effort to check out the collection online, but I didn't actually get there exactly at 1 p.m. I think I got caught up with my lunch break because I was at work, and so I didn't actually get on the Jeffree Star and Beautylish website until about 1:30. And at that point, I did have to refresh the site a couple of times before I was finally able to access it. And I noticed that a lot of things were still in stock. The eyeshadow palettes were still there, a lot of the makeup bags were still there, and a few of the liquid lipsticks. But I noticed that there were a few products missing originally from the website, and so they went back up a little bit later on, and I think they sold out almost immediately too. And because I wasn't entirely sold on the collection, I thought that after work I could just swing by the Morphe store that's close to where my work is and check out the collection in person. When I got there, I spoke with one of the sales associates and she said that in the morning there were 300 people that had lined up for the launch. I think it was a little bit chaotic in the mall to say the least, but by the time I rolled around, there were lots of palettes in stock, there were still some makeup bags, but everything else had sold out. That means the mirrors were gone, some of the larger makeup bags that were there were all sold out, and the really unfortunate part is that the liquid lipsticks, which is what I really wanted to get my hands on, were not carried in the store. So those were items that you could only purchase online, which was a little bit crappy, but whatever. Of course, I went straight to the two eyeshadow palettes, the Mini Controversy and then the Conspiracy palette. The Mini Controversy palette I thought was just okay. I mean, the two pops of blue really looked nice, but overall I felt like I had a lot of those colors in my eyeshadow collection and I didn't really need to spend the extra dollars on that. And after I made up my mind about the Mini Controversy palette, I turned my attention to the Conspiracy palette. I've got to say, the packaging is pretty cool. I do prefer flat cardboard palettes because they are a lot easier to store in my makeup corner over there, but I think this was really different, very unique. It is kind of a piece of art that I think you could put on display and it's going to look beautiful on a shelf. When I saw all the colors in person, I still wasn't entirely sold on it. I did a couple of swatches. There were a few shadows in there that I thought were kind of cool, a little bit unique, stuff that I haven't really seen in my collection. And honestly, I was gonna walk away from the whole collection and not buy it, but I thought, you know what, at the very least, I think I'm gonna get my hands on the Conspiracy palette. There is a lot that I can do with it, and so that's exactly what I did. I brought the Conspiracy palette home with me and I immediately started swatching and playing around with it. I did want a couple of days with the palette just so I could really get a good handle on it, understand the colors, see how they all wore, and then I wanted to really sit down and film a video with you and really give you my thoughts on how I feel about this particular palette. So unfortunately I can't comment on the whole collection, but I can certainly give you my opinions on this big palette here. I have been watching the docu-series that Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star have produced, and when I saw the packaging in person, I thought it was exactly what I had seen on YouTube. And when you pull out the sleeve, and the sleeve itself is kind of cool, the only thing I actually don't like about it is that on the back, I've got a sticker here with all of the ingredients of the eyeshadows, and this here I am not a fan of, just because it is a little bit difficult to read. It's gold writing on a black and white spiral background. I mean, if I'm holding it even just an arm's length away, I can't read shit. Even with my glasses on, none of this is making sense. I actually would have preferred a monochromatic white sticker and black writing. That would have made it a little more accessible, but it is what it is. It's just a minor detail. What I can tell you about this palette is that it is a vegan formula. It's cruelty-free. It was manufactured in the USA, and it has a shelf life of 12 months. It is a palette that is also a combination of eyeshadows as well as pressed pigments. The packaging of this palette is really cool. It is reminiscent of the Blue Blood palette from Jeffree Star. You do have the Shane Dawson logo right here in the middle, conspiracy written across like a little pyramid, these chrome clasps that you open up, and then of course you open up, have a gigantic mirror here, and all of your eyeshadows. Let me go ahead and break down the palette for you. We have 10 matte colors and 8 metallic or shimmer colors in here. The colors do vary from neutral to super bright, and I think there is a little bit of everything for everyone in here. For anyone who is curious, cheese dust, sleep paralysis, food videos, my pills, Trisha, not a fact, flaming hot, and pigment are pressed pigments. So those are the ones that are not meant for use in the immediate eye area, and everything else that you see in the palette is an eyeshadow. I have had a chance to play around with most of the colors in this eyeshadow palette. There are a few still that I haven't touched, to be honest with you. I have only been able to swatch, but I am liking what I'm seeing so far. The formula is identical to all of the other Jeffree Star Cosmetics eyeshadows that I've played around with, so there are no surprises in here. I am noticing though that with the mattes in particular, there is quite a bit of kick up in the pan. It's not a huge deal for me. I just blow it away and I'm good to go, but some people do find that a little bit annoying. They think it's a waste of product. If you don't want to have that much kick up, then do ensure that you're going into the pan a little more gently. I tend to just shove my brush in there and whatever. I get the pigment that I need and I'm on my merry way. The super metallic colors in this palette, so Just a Theory, Spiraling, Sleep Paralysis, and Illuminati, I'd even say Trisha as well, are all a little bit crumblier, and they do have fallout. So when you are applying those to your eyes, you are going to get some fallout on your cheeks, and you're going to see in just a second, Illuminati actually gave me that problem. I ended up getting a little bit of fallout on my cheek, but that is why I also chose to do my eyes before I did my foundation. And yes, for anyone who is wondering, I do have 2 different eyeshadow colors on my eyes. I wanted to show you the versatility of this palette, that you can do something really nice, neutral, and a little more muted, but you can also go really bold and really bright as well. I do enjoy all of the tones in this palette, and I do believe that this is a one and done, and by one and done, I mean that you can just use this palette on its own to create a number of different looks. I think it is best used as a complementary palette just because of the variety of different colors that you have in here. I actually really like the way Jeffree Star talked about this particular palette, where he said, and let me just grab the packaging, that the top row over here, if you're just looking at it on its own, is really super neutral. It's sort of your everyday eyeshadows that you can wear. If you go down one row, that's where you have all of your big bright pops of color. And then if you look at the very bottom row, that's where you have all of your dark and smokier and more unique eyeshadow colors. colors. So I think there is a little bit of color in here for everyone, whether you want to use this on a regular basis or just for special occasions, or heck, just to be artistic with your makeup. Just before I show you how I created these two very different eye looks, I do want to do a little bit of live swatching with you because I think that's pretty important. You probably want to know how these colors are going to perform. Now, let me remind you that finger swatches are not always going to be the same as when you use a brush to apply to your eyes. And some of these mattes don't swatch the best, I'm just being completely honest with you. But when you do apply them to your lids, they do perform really well. The first color I have is Ranch, and that is what Ranch looks like. It is a frosty white metallic color. The next color is Just a Theory. It's another metallic color. It's a cool sort of champagne-like color. I really like it. That's probably one of my favorite neutral colors in this palette. And then I've got Pigment, and that is a beautiful pink pig-like color. I think the name is cute. I also really love this shade. I've been wearing this one probably the most during my trials, so really cute. The next color I have is Conspiracy, and it is this light sort of metallic green color. This one I feel like you need to build up. What I just showed you is sort of one swatch with just a little bit of color taken from the pan. Let me try building that sucker up a little bit. One second, let me get back into focus. All right, there we go. That's a second layer on top. And as you can see, it's another sort of neutral color, but it's got a really cool tone to it. A little bit of gold, a little bit of green. Looking good. Then I've got this matte teal color over here called What's the Tea? And I think that one is a nice color. It certainly looks better on the eyes than it does in swatch. And my favorite color in the palette is this one here. It's a Sleep Paralysis. I love its purple tone, but it also has a gold reflection to it. I think it is just so pretty and definitely very unique. I'm also going to show you the black color called My Rides Here. So there is the black eyeshadow. I think it is really nice. I like that it is pigmented, it's definitely buildable, and it's a pretty easy black color to work with. And now I'm going to insert swatches of the entire palette row by row. And like I mentioned earlier, each of the rows is just so unique, and I think it brings its own attitude to the palette. And now that we have all of that information out of the way, I am going to insert a couple of mini tutorials of how I ended up getting these eye looks here. I do my lashes, mascara, and liner off camera, so all you're really going to see is the shadow application, but that's probably the most important part of this. So off we go. like this palette. I've enjoyed using it so far. Is it going to be one of those palettes that I reach for on a regular basis? Probably not. I think for the most part this is just going to be on display in my room or probably hidden away in storage whenever I kind of finish up with it or its life cycle runs out for me. Is it a palette that is worth purchasing? I think that decision is up to you. I really purchased it because I do love Shane Dawson and I wanted to throw some support behind him, and clearly so did a lot of other people because the entire collection is now sold out. I do believe that Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson are going to be making an announcement on Monday, November the 4th to talk about restock details, so do stay tuned for that. Obviously, I am a minion in this grand scheme of things that we call the beauty world, and so I don't know jack, but what I do know is I'm enjoying this palette. I hope you have the chance to enjoy it as well, and if you really are on the fence about it and you have a Morphe store close by, I would highly recommend that you pop in, play around with the palette, see how you feel, and then make an informed decision. And that's gonna do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know the drill. Give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. If you want to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can always do that by following me on all of my social media, which I'm gonna link for you in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you are all having an amazing day no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!